Hey guys, I said I'd be doing a video here on direct mail and what can go wrong and all that good stuff, so here it is. So I'll wait for you guys to pile on and we'll start talking about it. As you're coming on, let me know where you're from, give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll start talking. Because the right thing about this business, or you have to have the right expectations in this business. You need to make sure you know what you're getting into. Just like we talked about yesterday with the mountain. Hey Renee, what's up? With the mountain, and making sure as you're getting to that mountain, you know, you're going to encounter some difficulties along the way, and it may not be what you think and all that kind of stuff. But this is one of those things right here where you need to know what could potentially happen and what could go wrong. Because we know the name of this game is finding the most motivated sellers that we possibly can, right? You have to find the motivated sellers. You have to contact them and get in front of them and get a contract to purchase the house. That is the name of the game, right? Zach Wilson, yeah, good to see you, man. So knowing that, there are different ways to get in front of sellers, right? And they're marketing. Marketing's one of them. Marketing is the main one. And you could do that through pay-per-click. You can do that through direct mail. You can do that through, you could do it through picking up the phone and cold calling, which some people are doing now. You can go out and you can door knock. And there's all those kind of free methods, right? As far as when it goes in getting deals. As you guys are here, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're interested in hearing this content here. And that'll let everybody else know. Facebook ads, that's another one. Good one, Zach. That'll let other people know as well that this is a call that they might want to be interested in listening to. So give me the thumbs up. Let me know you're here. So in this business, direct mail. Somebody posted in my group just a little earlier or yesterday. It said I sent out 15,000 mailers and I didn't get one deal, right? I didn't get one deal for 15,000 mailers. What's the problem? Is it direct mail doesn't work? Is that the problem? Well, actually there is a lot that can go wrong. And just like I posted in the title here, it's as simple as you have a list, you have a mailer, and you have you. And there's a lot of different things that can go wrong between those factors right here, right? So first of all, let's take a look at the list. That's the first thing that can go wrong when you are doing a mailer. The first thing is you could pull a list that is wrong altogether. And it may not be because you got the data wrong, or it might not be because you didn't line up the columns correctly and you blew it that way. Let's just assume you did all that right. But you could pull a list of people that are not very probable to sell to you. You could be just mailing a bunch of people in a blanket fashion where you're just mailing on a geographic basis rather than a demographic basis, okay? And we've talked about this before. If you go on a geographic basis, your cost for a deal and cost per lead and cost per call and all that kind of stuff is going to go up because you are trying to expand over a bigger territory. Think about like TV, right? When you do a TV advertising, you're going out over a huge geographic span, and it's just going to be more expensive to do it that way. But the same thing when you're doing mail, when you go out and you try to go over just a whole geographic area, you're just hoping something's going to stick. And when you do that, that's going to be more expensive. The best way to do it, especially when you're first getting started, is demographically, right? So you want people that fit what you're looking for. And I've talked about it before. by looking for that perfect property avatar, right? You're trying to build that model that you're going to then go back to ListSource or to List, or wherever you're going, and you're going to build that list based off that model. And you're going to target properties that fit that model based on tax assessment, based on year built, based on style of house, all that kind of stuff is what you're going to target. So, and then you cut out all the fluff and get rid of it and just target based on that, right? So that is important, okay? So the list is the first thing that you can mess up on. And again, assuming that you got everything right, you didn't mess anything up when you were sifting and sorting your list and putting columns in the wrong place and stuff that would cause a mailer to bomb completely. And I've done it myself, right? I've messed up mailers before. I went in and have messed up columns so that the addresses and the properties were all mixed up, and it was just a big mess. I've even gone in and tried to sort duplicates out myself manually before even knowing how to work with Excel. So I know how you can mess up with Excel, and I know how that can be one big mess. But give me some thumbs up if you have ever messed up a mailer, or if you've ever gotten a spot where you're just like, man, did that mailer go out? I didn't get a response, and it was because you bombed it. It happens. It's all good. I've done it too. In fact, now that we've talked about the mail, the list itself, let's talk about the postcard. That's the next thing that can go wrong, right? So if you mess up the postcard, you could have a bad message on the postcard. It could be something that just didn't work for the potential seller. You didn't have a call to action that was bold. You just had something that blended in with everything else, like a We Buy Houses kind of thing. There's that everybody else is saying, and nothing stuck out, right? It happens. People mess up stuff like that all the time. But the postcard itself, you could have a wrong phone number. You could mess that up. I've done it where I put a wrong phone number, and actually the only thing that saved me is I had a website on the postcard, and that got me some leads. That was earlier on in my career. But you can mess up that way too. So you have to be careful with the postcard itself. You have to make sure that it's something that stands out. You have to make sure that it's something that's clear as far as what kind of what number to call, or what they're going to do when or their intent of when they call that number. Are they looking to just listen to a recorded message, or are they calling to talk to somebody right away to sell the property? So those are some things that you have to watch out for, right? So you have to make sure that those things are in line, okay? So we've got the list, we've got the postcard, and now this can be a little tough to swallow here, okay? What can be tough to swallow is that you could be wrong, okay? And I'm going to be blunt here. If you suck at closing, that is something that direct mail is not going to fix, okay? Every now and then, we are going to get sellers that call in, and the sellers will call in, and they will they'll just be ready to go. They'll be ready to sign the deal. They'll be ready to make it happen. But this business is highly based on being able to close people. You need to be able to get people to be comfortable with you very, very quickly. So you need to build rapport so that they know, like, and trust you, right? So if they know, like, and trust you, then you're going to get to a point when this is not a call I'm doing here based on how to build rapport and all that kind of stuff. But you need to be able to get to the point where the people are trusting you and willing to do business with you and get that agreement and that contract signed. You need to be able to do that, okay? Because if your mailer was good and your list was good and your message was good and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. If you can't get that person, if you can't get a deal done and a contract signed, you're you're just you're wasting your time. So you got to make sure that you can get people to do a deal with you, right? And that's something that a mailer is not going to fix. So just keep that in mind. You got to understand that. Well, here's one thing, okay? Whether you had a successful mailer, calls came in and all that. Oh, sorry, I had an interruption there. Calls came in and all that good stuff, and you came out and you've talked to people. I'm going to give you one tip that's really going to increase your closing percentage. You ready? Give me a thumbs up if you are listening to this and you want the one tip right now that's going to increase your closing percentage and help you get the contract signed. And I will give it to you. All right, cool. All right, here it is. You ready? Ask for the agreement. That's it, okay? You can't just talk about, I may want to buy your house. Things look good and blah, 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 blah. But if you get to the point and you don't ask for the agreement, something as simple as, so how does this sound? Does this sound like something you want to do today? And that's important to say today, right? Is this something you want to do today? Very, very important. Because if you don't say that, then they're going to say, well, I want to think about it and all that kind of stuff, right? So again, without going into a huge sales training about stuff here, you're going to pitch your tent and fold up shop right away after people say, I got to think about it for the first time. Bad idea. You're wasting your time. Because when you leave that house without a contract and people are giving you that objection, chances are somebody's going to come in and close them down. Because number one, you might have set the baseline for everybody else to come on top of, because you might have done a good job educating them on what the business is about and what these people are trying to do and all this kind of stuff, right? You may have been the one that set that baseline, and then everybody else is going to come over on top of you that's able to close because you set the expectation. So you can't set the expectation without walking out of that house with a deal or without a contract, because you're just going to make the job so much easier for everybody else. Okay? Don't do that. Don't make the job easy for everybody else and then just walk out of the house and without a contract. So the first time they say, so what we got to do, number one, we have to ask for the agreement, right? We're going to say, so how's this sound? Did you want to get this wrapped up today? So you don't have to worry about this tenant anymore, whatever their pain point was, right? And then after that, if they say, well, I got to think about it, you can say, oh, I understand. It is a huge deal. There is a lot of things to think about here, but obviously, and then you go and reiterate the points, right? So you did want to sell your house, right? Yeah, I wanted to sell the house. Do you think, do you think you'd be okay doing business with me? Do you trust me? Yeah, okay, great. And are you okay with the price, right? And then at that point, maybe they'll really give you their real objection, which might be the price. So you can't fold up shop at the first sign of rejection or resistance or anything like that. But, okay, again, without having a big old sales training here, those are the things in direct mail that can impede your success. It could be the list, could be the mailer, and it can be you. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with it, and you need to be aware of that. So having the right expectations in going into this business, you have to understand that. When you're sending out mail, you have to understand that there is a likelihood that nothing is going to happen. There's a likelihood that you may not get a deal. But you know what? Every postcard you send out there sends seeds out to the rest of the community. And they're seeds that are being planted that one day somebody might pick up that phone and call you, and you may have that big $30,000 deal waiting for you. I just closed a $30,000 deal today, $31,500 actually, from a seller that I've been working with for 3 years. Okay? And he had called me 3 years ago, and we had talked, and we kept the follow-up going, and we kept going, and we kept going, and we kept going, right? but it was because the seeds were planted out there, and it finally turned into a plant, which means money, obviously, for us nowadays. But you have to put yourself out there, and you have to give yourself a chance to succeed. And the way to do that in a very rapid amount of time is direct mail, because you're putting so much out there. So let me know if this has been helpful for you. Give me a thumbs up, give me some hearts, some likes, some love, all that good stuff. Like I said, I enjoy doing this content for you guys, and if you find benefit in it, give me the thumbs up and all that nice stuff. So, all right, guys, take care. I'll chat at you later.